we get quite a lot of slugs, so every morning you'd see little slug trails. Yeah, let me show you the kitchen.
Hayley's been renting this home for 5 years, but has faced an uphill battle to get problems in it sorted.
This is after cleaning it regularly. You can still see that there's staining from the black mould.
And this is where you keep your food, store your groceries?
Yeah, I try and keep everything enclosed. I couldn't keep any fresh food in there because it would just go mouldy and go rank. So.
But for many private renters like her, raising issues with landlords comes with a fear of increasing rents or having their tenancy ended.
So this is the shower. Me and my partner have not been allowed to use this shower, despite the fact it works. We haven't been able to use it for 11 months. And what we've discovered is that it's leaking in various different places.
You've been washing in this then every day for the last 11 months?
I would fill it up about 3 inches. We can't afford, in a cost of living crisis and an energy crisis, to be running a bath every time we need to wash.
Last year, Hayley was told her rent was due to increase by over 25%.
Doesn't shut.
Shortly after that, she was served a Section 21 notice, a so-called no-fault eviction, giving her 8 weeks to leave.
It was just such a blow because we'd already been, it was like 9, 10 months into, you know, not having a shower, and the house was deteriorating in quality quite rapidly as we were going into winter. The house prices and renting prices in Bristol have just gone, like, they're just way too high. And then when he handed us the Section 21, you saw it coming almost. Like, he'd have to do so much work on the house that we'd have to leave at some point for him to do it. But it was like super devastating because we had made this our home.
We contacted the government, who told us they're committed to increasing renters' rights.
We will bring forward a renters' reform bill in this Parliament, abolishing no-fault evictions so tenants can have greater security in their homes.
Close to a quarter of private rented housing didn't meet the decent home standard, according to last year's English housing survey, meaning they were in disrepair, couldn't be heated or insulated, or could pose a risk to health. Currently, if tenants want to fix problems in their housing, they have to complain. Firstly to their landlord and then to their local council. If that doesn't work, they can apply to a court, but that can be expensive and time-consuming. Social housing tenants can have these problems investigated and resolved for free by a housing ombudsman, but it's up to private landlords whether they want to opt into that scheme.
So the number of private landlords signed up is a drop in the ocean. We have just over 90 private landlords who have joined the scheme, and it's great that they have, but there's probably over 2 million private landlords out there. So you've got,
England's housing ombudsman says the government should legislate to give him powers over the private rented sector.
I think it's very challenging to encourage landlords to volunteer to be part of an ombudsman scheme without making it mandatory. There are clearly some private landlords who have decided to join, but I think inevitably, unless you make it a statutory responsibility, you are not going to see a significant number of private landlords becoming members of redress schemes.
The Department for Levelling Up have told us they want to introduce a new ombudsman for the private rented sector, but some landlords are blaming the government for the problems renters are facing.
I think the government has got to intervene by increasing the supply of rental properties, because it's the lack of them that are pushing prices up.
Vanessa Warwick runs landlord forum Property Tribes and says some of her members are worried about potential changes to the sector.
Many landlords are concerned about Section 21 being abolished. One thing that landlords need is to have certainty and, you know, to feel confident about investing, because I feel that, you know, landlords do want to know that they can regain possession of their property if they need to.
Meanwhile, tenants like Hayley are left to find a new place to call home.
It's quite a desperate situation for people my age, but I'm still lucky. I'm still lucky. I'm still grateful for what I have, for having a roof over my head. It's special. It's magic.